What are you going to do about bringing down the rent and things like that in the economy? Because out of 8 children that I'm a father and a stepfather to, 5 of them are struggling, and I'm giving them part of my income on a regular basis. How are you going to make the economy not just the the food and electricity, but bring down the rent prices, the housing prices, so that these kids can survive and
Yep,
without their parents' help?
Such a good question,
you're
Mr.
right.
President.
So before we go down to the response to that question, okay. Hi, beautiful people. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by, supporting your girl always on this channel. Our credit goes to the creators in this videos. And guys, in today's video, I'm coming up with a part 2 of MAGA regrets the fact that they trusted Trump and now they are finding out. So when Trump came onto the political stage, MAGA was convinced that he was their golden tickets, right? A billionaire, somehow managed to convince working class Americans that it was just like them because he promised to bring back jobs, slash prices, and all of that. And at these rallies, people stood for hours chanting his name. God Trump, God Trump, God Trump. Some people even had a whole musical video. I will vote for Donald Trump. So they believed every word. The cost of living will fall, that their paychecks, will stretch further, would not finish, that America will return to the magical times when things were better. I'm coming down to this video. The art, the flags, everything. To some people, right, who took it hook, line, and sinker, it was not just about politics. To many of them, it was about, hope, restoration. Finally, here is somebody that really cares about us. But guys, that hope has gone sour because MAGA thought that Trump was the solution, but it looks like that is not the case. Let's see his response to that question.
And I tell you, first of all, I love the people that you're with. I know that I must have at least 99, perhaps 100% of all of them, and I think they're incredible. We are going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to bring down the cost of energy. Energy is what caused the worst inflation, I think, in the history of our country. Food prices are up 50%, sometimes more. You look at bacon. Bacon is quadrupled. You can't order bacon. You can't order anything. We're living horribly. We have the worst inflation we've probably ever had in our country, and it started because of energy. We're going to drill, baby, drill, and then we're going to have China and all of these countries that were treating us good when I was there toward that. I mean, it took me a long time to get them to behave properly. All of these countries are going to, again, stop. Like 4 years ago, I could ask you, you were in great shape. You had low energy costs. You had low food costs. Everything was good. You could buy a house. You had low interest rates, 2% interest rates. You had gasoline at $1.87. Now it's $5. And by the way, going up very substantially. But you had gasoline at $1.87 a gallon. Nobody talks about that anymore. Nobody even can believe it's going to happen. It's going to happen again. We've got to get the energy prices down, and everything else is going to be tumbling.
It was at this point that MAGA should have known to face the other side because he practically avoided the question. Everything he said was not in line with the question asked.
Voted for him for lower grocery prices. He promised me cheaper prices on groceries. And that has not happened. Not only has that not happened, I am getting my food stamps taken. I am getting my cash assistance taken. I am getting my Section 8 taken. I am getting all my welfare governments taken. I did not ask for this. Yes. I would not have voted for him if I knew this was going to happen.
Do you know what drives me insane about these people that say that if I would have known, I wouldn't have voted for him, or I did not vote for that? Yes, you did. The first thing that bothers me is, yes, you did. You see, you voted for those things. You just thought it would happen to someone else. You were perfectly fine with other people losing programs, losing things that would benefit them. You just didn't think it would touch you. You thought you were safe from losing these programs. And the other part is they say they didn't know. Bull crap. Bull crap. The left, independents, lots of different economic experts, doctors, scientists have been screaming about all the horrible things that Donald Trump would do. We told you about Project 2025. We told you how many times his name was listed in Project 2025. And we told you how many of his own staffers were in there as well or helped write it. But you guys didn't believe us. You guys said fake news. We tried to warn you. You didn't either want to listen, or your bigotry and your racism, your homophobia and your sexism didn't allow you to see what was coming. So the bed that you made, you now have to lie on. The sad thing is that so many of us are in the same bed with you, but we didn't vote that way. We knew that these things were going to happen. We knew that this was going to cause havoc for everybody. And look, I'm sorry for you. I feel horrible that you're going to lose all these benefits, but you did vote for this. So if you want something to change, I suggest you call your congressperson and tell them to put a leash on Donald Trump and stop him in Congress. I suggest instead of just coming on this app and whining and complaining about what you yourself created, you call your representative and do something about it. Otherwise, we here on the left and independent, we don't care. We warned you. All my love.
Any of you when you pretend like the cost of living is the reason why you support Trump. Cost of living is out of control, but the reasons for that have a lot less to do with who's president and a lot more to do with the fact that corporations and the 1% own our government. You guys don't care about income inequality. You'll highlight income inequality in the fact that people can't afford a $400 emergency when Biden is president, but the same was true under Trump and none of you gave a shit. Any meaningful policy that would actually address the insane cost of living, none of you actually want to address. Grocery prices are high because of corporate price gouging. That's already been proven multiple times. In fact, an egg producer just had to settle a lawsuit. Healthcare remains unaffordable because we have an unregulated mafia that runs the scam healthcare system we have. But rather than wanting to get rid of private insurers and hold big pharma and insurance companies accountable, your answer is, how about we don't have healthcare at all? You guys pretend to care about working people, but all of you guys are union busters and can't wait to crush the working class. You all want to pretend that housing prices have nothing to do with the fact that we've got a bunch of hedge fund billionaires and private equity goons that buy up single family homes because they want to be people's landlords and they want to prevent people from being able to actually have a house. And why is that? Because you guys also support deregulation. It's always deregulation, which simply means the ability to poison your water, allowing banks to gamble with your future, and for places like Norfolk Southern to continue to crash their trains into small towns and poison them too. All of you want to pretend like the pandemic never happened, that there weren't massive supply chain issues that also affected inflation. And you also want to pretend that the Fed isn't there, that the right-wing Fed who keeps raising interest rates on the American people while always lowering interest rates for the banks, that doesn't have an effect. I don't believe you. I know why you guys really support Trump. And it has nothing to do with any of these systemic issues. These issues that are not new, that have been going on for years and years and years, regardless of who's been president, and will only be addressed when big corporations, private equity, the military-industrial complex, and the corporatization of our Congress, and the oil companies are taken on directly. Why don't you guys want to talk about that? That's how I know that none of you guys mean it, and that is not the real reason why you support Trump. Because if you really cared about things like gas and cost of living, you would be hell-bent like the rest of us on going after big pharma, going after big corporations, going after private equity and hedge funds, passing productive legislation like banning Congress members from trading stocks. But the only thing you guys have done this term is try to axe the IRS agents that are going after the rich who don't pay their taxes. Because we all know that the only priority of the GOP is protecting the elites. You guys may be able to fool some people with that, but
Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section, because I actually think that these people voted for him because they felt it was going to lower. I mean, these people voted because of egg prices, okay, because of grocery prices, because I mean, when you have food in your belly, you can think straight. And this same MAGA families thought that tariffs was going to make America rich again. I mean, these were people that started Googling what tariffs was. after the tariffs have been implemented. So I mean, that's how, it can be. So then there were tax cuts, and Trump bragged about it giving Americans relief. But let's just be honest, those cuts overwhelmingly benefited corporations, the ultra wealthy, and all of that, because the system was not rewritten for working people, right? It was just rewritten for the billionaires, because it left consumers footing the bills, and MAGA households are now finding themselves squeezed tighter than ever, because they felt that, oh, we wanted Trump to fight for us, but in reality, all these policies are lined in the pockets of the rich, and they are just leaving everyday Americans, everyday people buried under higher costs.
I pay $1,600 for a flat that has no bedroom. That's 2/3 of my income. I'm an American. I work 50 hours a week. I don't have health insurance. I'm an American. I couldn't afford to have a child even if I wanted to. I'm $7,000 in debt. I'm an American. My health is declining because I can't afford Whole Foods because that's too expensive for my life. I am very overqualified for my job, but no one else is hiring. I'm an American. I make my boss hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, while I can barely keep myself alive. I'm an American. I have never been out of the States. I have never been on a vacation. I'm an American. I make $20-some an hour. A livable wage here is like 30-some. Yet I don't qualify for government assistance whatsoever. On the days I don't work, I'm so tired I just sleep all day. I'm an American. My electric bill is so expensive I sit outside in the heat because I can't afford to turn the AC on in the damn house. I'm an American, and I fear I'm just an average American. I'm living the American dream.
Guys, I hope you read the sarcasm in that. This creator did not actually say she voted for Trump, right? But I just brought in the video to just bring out the struggles of people and what they have going on. For his supporters, Trump is not giving them the life that they felt they were going to have, right? Because MAGA thought they were voting for somebody that understood their pain. But I mean, this man has never been poor, so to say. He has been rich for a long time. So I'm not sure he would understand their frustration and their pain. But even though some of them are regretting quietly, the pain is still there. But pride will not allow them to admit. But deep down in their minds, they can feel it, because I mean, the numbers don't lie. The cost of living has exploded, and they are carrying the weight. And all of them that were chanting, "Trust Trump, America is gonna be great again," all of them are now sitting down with empty wallets, and they are wondering how all the promises of prosperity is turning into a struggle, because it's like everything is just collapsing under the weight of their shoulders. They are crumbling under the pressures of just basic amenities and everyday life. I mean, there are some things that are not supposed to be a struggle, okay? We have free air that we breathe. Eating is not supposed to be a struggle. Paying your rent is not supposed to be a struggle. I mean, these are just having basic amenities is not supposed to be a struggle, okay? We are not even talking about the height of going for a vacation, planning a vacation, saving for a vacation, and all of that. Some people are not even saying that, okay, they want to buy a house. They are just saying, I just want to eat, change my clothes once in a while, just live comfortably within their means. And someone cannot even do that. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you have found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll definitely see you in my next video. Please don't forget to stay safe. Mental health is important. Ciao.